Hey, it has been a very stressful 2 days. And I'm really making this video not so much so you guys can see it, but because, man, on the days that Christian makes me mad and I'm like, oh my gosh, this kid gets on my nerves, I want to remember the feeling that I had today. Um, so, yesterday, well, 2 days ago, he woke up and he was saying his ears were hurting. And so I kissed him, like I kissed his ears because I always kiss their bobos, and he started screaming that it hurt, and I thought he was just being dramatic. So I put peroxide in his ears in case it was like built up earwax and stuff, and he freaked out the whole time. But then he didn't complain much the rest of the morning, and then around lunchtime I picked him up and I was trying to help him wash his hands, and he told me it hurt his armpits, so he started crying. I was like, oh my gosh, this kid's being extra sensitive today. So I took his shirt off and I looked at his armpits, and they just looked red, but mostly they looked fine. Um, so yeah, but then at some point he ended up with like a little scratch on his forehead. And I was like, well, that was weird. But he said it was because Camille was fighting him. They were fighting in the room, and that's his sister. She's 5. And so I told them both, don't be fighting, and made him hug and work it out and stuff. And then that night, he was picking at the sore that he now had on his forehead, and I told Darrius to help him wash his hands, and so um, he did, and then but I told him pick him up from his waist because his armpits were hurting. So Darius did, and then he started screaming that his penis was hurting. Y'all, everything was hurting. Okay, like I was like, why is this boy so extra? He get it from his daddy. But I looked at his penis and looked kind of red, but I was like, you know what? If he's hurting tomorrow, I'll schedule an appointment. So he woke up yesterday morning and he was just blah. Like, he was not feeling good at all, but he didn't have a fever or anything. And I let him sleep in the bed with me just in case, because the day before when this first happened, he kept asking me if I could blow into his ear or blow under his armpits. And all night, that night, he was asking me. So I didn't get a lot of sleep between between Tuesday and Wednesday. So Wednesday, we went to the doctor, and like some of the stuff that happened is graphic. I'm not even gonna tell y'all, but so the doctor was like, yeah, no, it's like this bacteria infection. Just take this medicine, he'll be fine. And so we're like, okay, cool. I really don't think that's what it is, but whatever. So I mean, like, he literally just looked at him and was like, yep, that's what it is. He's good. And so I looked this up online. I'm like, this doesn't look anything like what he has. Man, he was just trying to get rid of my baby. So gave us the antibiotics. He took it like immediately when we picked it up at CVS, and then I gave it to him again at 4 in the morning because he has to take it every 12 hours. And then he woke up this morning, y'all, and it looked like his skin was burning from the inside out. Like, I was freaking out. Um, I was super freaking out because he had like it. I'm gonna post a picture in here, or maybe a couple pictures. I can't even, but there was sores everywhere. And so I was like, okay, the doctor said if it's not better in 2 days or something, like it should get better in 2 days, but if it's not better in a couple days, call back. I was like, dude, he better look like normal by Friday or they're gonna see me because y'all, when I show you a picture of my baby, it's bad. And so he's just been laying around because he's been hurting, and I tried putting cream on him and he just screams, and I've never seen him scream like that. Like, he's pushed his hand in the air and it was like straight as could be, and I was like, that is the symbol of intolerable pain. Um so he's just kind of been chilling, and so this was the make or break moment for me. So I told him to lay in his bed, and he didn't want to put on clothes, so I wrapped him up in a towel, and just had him in there watching TV on the phone or whatever. He wanted to watch Zoomy, so I let him do that while I took care of the baby. And so I went back in his room, and he asked me to pick him up, and I put him in my lap. And when I moved him, because he has like these sores all over, so I moved him into my lap, and a tear fell down his face because it hurt him so bad for me to move him. Y'all, I feel like I'm always crying these days. Like, I've turned to a straight punk. This is what happens when you have kids. So I put him in my lap, and a tear fell down his face, and he knew it was going to hurt when I had to move him, but he wanted to be close to me anyway. And so I sat there, and I held him in my arms, and he blinked at me 5 times, which is our way of like saying, I love you infinity more. And it's like me and his little code thing. And so, then when he did that, I just started crying because I didn't know what was wrong with him, and I didn't know how to make the pain go away. And he's just been like in so much pain, and the Motrin and Tylenol isn't helping. That stupid doctor didn't know what he's talking about because he's not helping either. Sorry, doctor, for calling you stupid, but it's not helping. And so, to know that all that pain he was in, like, he just wanted to be held by me, and it didn't matter to him that it was gonna hurt. And the fact that he could still communicate to me, I love you infinity more, because he has sores on his face, so it hurts him to talk. Y'all, it was hard. I started crying and praying, and I just asked God for more time with him, because, like, if I lose one of my kids, y'all, I'd lose my mind. And so we were like, you know what? Like, let's just drive him to Dallas and go to Children's, because the doctors here are horrible. And so we plan to do that. I called my sister. I was like, we'll be there first thing tomorrow. And because we had to do this before when Camille's eyes swell up. And so, I don't know if you guys remember that, but it was earlier this year. I don't know what's wrong with my babies, but y'all, they say the more money you have, the more problems you see. I think it's the more children you have, because there's more room for problems. And so imagine every time one kid gets sick. Now imagine that times 11. It feels like a kid is always sick. And so, so we had planned to do that. Well, when Darrius was in the military, we were stationed at Lackland, and the kids had this amazing doctor. She's an incredible pediatrician, and her name is Dr. Ume. And so I was like, you know what? Let me just ask Dr. Ume. Like, I know it's 11 o'clock at night, but I'm a messenger anyway, y'all. And I sent her a page, like the last 7 minutes of information that I've shared with you, minus the crying part. I told Dr. Ume, and then I sent her graphic pictures. And y'all, she, like, it didn't matter that it was 11 o'clock at night. Like, when I saw that she had read my message, I was like, oh my gosh, thank you, Jesus. And so she was responding, and she was, I mean, like, she was incredible. And she was like, they should have ran some cultures, done some tests, something, because, you know, you can't just look at people and just start throwing stuff out there. But she told me, you know, what it probably is based on the pictures and stuff like that. And I was like, so is the medicine gonna fix him? Because, you know, I got this medicine. And she was like, ooh, that's probably not gonna fix him. Like, he needs something stronger. So then I was like, cool, back to the ER situation. And she was like, well, just tomorrow, you know, when you go to the doctor, ask him to run these tests and check these things and all this amazing stuff. And y'all, like, a couple hours ago, I thought my baby was dying in my arms, and now I'm like, okay, cool. It could be just a rash from strep throat. So, that makes me feel a cajillion times better, y'all, because it's been a long 2 days. Whew. Okay, so in other news, we are not having any more kids. So, I'm not playing. No more kids. Because I'm tired of having to hide in my closet. And my heart can't take any more of this. Man, just seeing your kids in pain is one of the worst things. I can't even imagine. So when there's parents out there who abuse and neglect their children, I don't get it, because it is hurting my heart that my baby is hurting. I see why parents say this is gonna hurt me more than it hurts you when they spank you. You know, I don't know, because I didn't grow up with my parents. I grew up with foster parents, but I get it now. You know, like, because seeing them hurt is so painful. Trying to think what else has been going on. Darrius had his birthday. Whoop whoop.
Let's turn off the light.
Alright.
Is
that everybody?
Yeah.
Where's Chloe? That is everybody.
No, we're missing someone. We're
I
dead.
thought we're
not
missing
missing
somebody.
Yeah, we're missing 3, technically.
No, for who are we?
Alright, y'all ready?
Yeah, bud.
All right.
Are you sure this is
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Eat some cookies.
Happy birthday, dear Dad.
Let's pass it
Happy birthday to you. And many more.
and channel 4. Eat more cookies.
Eat more cookies.
Let's play some family
Let it
tag.
sparkle.
Oh, it's sparkling.
Sparkling.
Daddy, quickly play family
Tag.
tag.
Woo! Woo!
Hey, Daddy, once we're done, quickly family tag.
Like a couple nights ago, so that was really awesome. We pulled a prank on him, and I will probably make a video of it because it was pretty funny. And what else we've been doing? I mean, it's just kind of been chilling at the coffee house. Later in the day, Christian did feel a little bit better. So the only thing that made him feel better was being outside in the water, and he just kind of sat in the slip and slide thing. He just sat on one side of it, and he wanted everybody to play with him, but he didn't want to play the way they wanted to play, so he just wanted to stand there with the water hose and spray them. I told him they all better take it or they better clean up the yard, because the boy wanted them to play. So they were going to do whatever my baby said today. So, but no, actually they cleaned up the yard and then they played. I can't stand a dirty yard. And my neighbors across the street are incredible, and their yard always looks immaculate. So when we moved in, I told the kids, we are not going to be those people who have dirty yards. Y'all better get y'all's little popsicle wrappers out of my front yard. And if this yard doesn't look like Mr. Vaughn's yard across the street, y'all better fix it. So no, they did clean up the yard, and then they played in the slip and slide, and they were incredible sports about it, because they had to get off of Minecraft to do it. But when your baby feels bad, you just give him whatever makes him happy, even if that is torturing his siblings with the water hose. So we did that. What else has been going on this week? My sister's supposed to come over tomorrow, and we were supposed to do all this really awesome stuff. So I don't know if she's still coming, because I was really concerned about Christian, but we're doing table nachos one day this weekend. So that'll be fun. What have you guys been up to? I don't even know. I feel like every time I talk to you, I have a paper that's due by midnight. And again, today is the exact same thing. And midnight is in exactly 23 minutes. Or I'm going to be dropped from this class. Y'all, I hate this class. If you are going for a master's degree, just if you can avoid the strategy class, do that. Because that class sucks. And I'm halfway done. I just don't like the class. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Darrius says I talk too much, so I'll quit talking and add some fun, whatever, and I'll post those pictures here too so you guys can see it. But yeah, crazy life, y'all, crazy life. But I would not trade it for anything in the world, with the exception of my kids getting sick. That part I'd trade. But yeah, that's it. All right, well, good night, guys. I'm gonna go fail this class.